Well, we got more injury news coming out of Chicago Bulls practice. This time it's not about Lonzo Ball. It's in regards to Coby White and Talen Horton-Tucker. We're going to talk about it all and more, but first, got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this quick news for today. I ain't going to stay with you guys too long for today, but per KC Johnson, Coby White suffered a groin injury and did not practice today, and his availability for Saturday's preseason game is listed as to be determined. Talen Horton-Tucker also sat out with calf tightness, and he'll be reevaluated tomorrow as well, leading into the game to make the determination if he is going to play in tomorrow's basketball game. I mean, when it comes down to it, especially with the groin thing that Coby White is having, more than likely he's probably going to sit. I'll just will set that expectation. Bulls fans, if you're wanting to hear whether he's like, groin pain could be something that lingers on, and I can see the Bulls being very cautious to not want that any chance to aggravate that even further, or even risk him not being ready to go by the start of the season. So I think with a groin type scenario, Coby may sit tomorrow. We'll see what happens when it comes down to that. He could very well wake up tomorrow and feel perfectly fine, and Coby could end up playing tomorrow. Now, with THT and calf tightness, that's something that's basically, he basically got a Charlie horse is what's happened there. So, when it comes down to that, so he'll be fine. I think I would expect to see THT. THT is probably going to push to play as well tomorrow with him trying to make the roster for the Chicago Bulls. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he does end up still staying around and making and playing in tomorrow's game. So, just look out for in those cases when it comes down to those players. You guys know, like to bring you guys all the updated news as it comes out. And, especially dealing with Coby White, right? Coby White very much looks just like Coby White. He picked up this in the first preseason game where last season ended up from him. Like, he looked very much like him. He got points in very few minutes. He got his shots up. He scored effectively. That's what it came down to. Coby needs to rest, right? And so I wouldn't want to see the Bulls push Coby in any type of preseason game. You got a lot of players you want to take a look at as well to make the determination. So you still want to take a look at Ernest Batum, who can play guard or forward. You want to still take a look at Dalen Terry. He's continuing to grow. Io's there as well. So you got a lot of guys that you can look at. Then if you even want to dig into the G League bag, you got DJ Stewart there. Chris Duarte, who's definitely trying to make the roster. He's trying to get some shots up. He's somebody that could definitely, step into that role as well. So it's not really a big deal. It's really what it comes down to. It's really not a big deal. The more, if it was something that had a chance of affecting the start of his season, it would be a bigger deal. But I think the Bulls are not going to let it to get to that spot to where it could affect or even put into question the start of Coby White's season. So they're going to be protective over it, as they should. And that just is what it is, man. So if Coby doesn't play tomorrow, Coby doesn't play tomorrow. It's a preseason game. We're still going to have a lot to look at, even without Coby White being on the court if he does not end up playing. And it's all fine and dandy when it comes down to that. If we didn't have bad luck, we wouldn't have luck at all, I guess. I mean, it's preseason, bro. Honestly, just to go back to this, Shay, if this was a regular season thing, right, I don't even know if we would have heard about this, to be honest with you, right? I think they probably would have put Coby out there and then would have found out after the game, hey, Coby looked a little off because he's been dealing with a little groin thing. So, it is what it is. Calf tightness isn't that serious. Just some rest and it'll be good. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have about 8 other guards on the roster. Let Coby rest. Exactly. Completely agree with you, brother. Winton, hopefully these groin issues don't last for weeks. Then we'd have a problem. Well, luckily, preseason's 2 weeks, right? So the season doesn't start for another 2.5 weeks. So, if Coby sits out the rest of the preseason, Coby sits out the rest of the preseason. Now, of course, you want some of those reps for him and Josh Giddey to continue to get on the same page, work out their chemistry, things like that. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? Do you see the rookie starting tomorrow if Coby White doesn't play? Well, I mean, there's a chance of that. I mean, Dalen Terry did start the second half of the game, so maybe they decided to throw Dalen out there. Now that doesn't add any shooting. Well, maybe you move Zach back to the back to the 2. Maybe you start Dalen or Julian Phillips at the 3. There's something maybe modest. Maybe you move Zach LaVine to the 2. You start Josh Giddey and Zach LaVine at the 1 and the 2, considering that they already have chemistry. And then maybe you start Modest Bucilis at the 3. There's a chance of that as well, right? Life goals, not get cooked by CEO Haize in a live stream. Hey, Eads, I would never cook you, bro. You have nothing to worry about. I saw that THT grab his hand at one point. Was it a hand? No, it's a calf injury. He basically caught a Charlie horse. Is basically what it is. Hey, look on the bright side. At least Zach LaVine gets to show what he can do, and Patrick Williams has even more opportunity now to score offensively. Not if they start Modest Bucilis, because Modest taking those shots, my boy. Bulls got so many guards. One of us might be a guard on the team, and we didn't even know about it. That's crazy. Rob, more minutes for Batum to get a look. That's absolutely. Treat Coby like Zion right now. He's special. You better not let him hurt himself. I feel you on that one. It's all good. Coby needs to rest. I'd rather for that to happen now instead of doing the regular season. We got enough to run without Coby. Exactly. And even if we didn't, it's a preseason game. Like, we not making or breaking on a preseason loss or win. So, if Coby's not out there, Coby's not out there. It is what it is. We will be okay. We shall endure. It's gonna be okay. Looking fresh, man. Glad to see you. Cheers to the funniest dude in the biz. That's hilarious. I hope I'm one of the most insightful. I mean, I'll be funny, but hopefully insight follows that funniness. The Bulls' point guard injury history before in D Rose is exactly why this team needs solid point guard depth at all times. What's going on, Christian? Glad to have you in the building, brother. You're not related to Tony Snell, are you? I hope not. Coby was growing. My bad, Mr. Biggie. Yes, so Coby has a groin and just growing tightness. What it comes down to. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. He'll be okay. I know this may be a little too early to start game planning, but we do play the New Orleans Pelicans the very first regular season game, and their center is about 6'6". So I will look to feed Vooch. Listen, Shay, stop trying to come up with game plans already, bro. None of that shit matters right now. Daniel Tice may not even be the starting center by the time you get to that point, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Plus, did y'all see this video of Modest Bucilis guarding Torrey Craig? I'm going to post it on the shorts here when I get done with that. Crazy work. Great work, but crazy work. But yeah, overall, not a big deal, man. We're going to be okay regardless. We're going to be all right. And it'll go the way that it needs to go. That's all I can say on that one, man. I know. Oh, you already read that one. Trench Baby, have you learned your lesson? Hey, Andy, are you okay? That's hilarious. That's funny. Is Trench Baby back in here? I haven't seen Trench Baby. I think Trench Baby went and had to go look at and ask, hey, why did I do? You only have yourself to blame. You only have yourself to blame. You really could have just left me the hell alone. That's really what I say to everything with people. Like, you really could have just left Haize. I wouldn't have bothered you. I really wouldn't have bothered you. All you got to do is just shut the hell up and leave Haize alone. It's a very simple thing. Like, I really don't bother people all that much. At least it wasn't a gluteus maximus injury because of Dwight Howard. That's crazy. Another year for the best damn Bulls content creator on the planet. Salute, my brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Listen, we trying out here. I almost just titled that video something weird. I almost just wrote in the description, Modest Bucilis working on his D with Torrey Craig. That wouldn't have gone over very well at all. It would not have gone over well. So I'm glad I did not do that, because that could have been a bit ugly there on the description part of that. So, it is what it is. But all right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up, man. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Thanks to you guys. And what's Dalen's ceiling? I don't know. It's hard to say right now. Maybe a Tony Allen type, maybe that, but we'll see. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red, y'all.